Hey you guys, welcome back. If you guys are new, my name is Lauren and I'm a nurse that's here for all your science-backed skincare reviews. I am such a science nerd at heart and I'm also a product junkie, so skincare kind of brings my two loves together. So if that sounds like your thing, be sure to subscribe. I'd love to have you. We also do some makeup reviews over here. It's just a fun time. So thank you for being here today. Today's gonna be a fun video. This is something a little different for me. I wanted to start this tag video, this love it or leave it skincare tag. Basically, this is going to be a chat about all these different polarizing skincare topics. You know, people have different views. Some of the topics are a little bit even controversial. I just think it'd be fun, and especially fun to hear all my other favorite creators' views on all these topics. So be sure to go over on Instagram, tag your favorite creators, whether they be skincare or makeup bloggers, whoever you want to tag, just spread the love of this tag. I feel like this would be a fun one. And let me know down below your views on these topics as well. I'm excited about this one. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we'll cut the chat. We'll just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the first love it or leave it topic, medical grade skincare. So I have used some medical grade skincare in the past, but I'm gonna say leave it. First of all, medical grade is not even a real term. It's just a marketing term. Bottom line, there's no such thing between prescription and over the counter. These companies are trying to use the fact that their claim is that it's skincare that you can get that's backed by a doctor. But my thing is, how come I don't see any of these medical grade skincare brands in dermatologist's office? I don't know about you guys, but my derm only carries like Cetaphil, CeraVe, maybe some Aveeno thrown in there. Just your basic skincare ingredient companies, you know, they just believe in the basics. And some of these medical grade companies are so overpriced. You can get serums for like $150. It's just insanity. Now, I know a lot of people use and love it. I will say I haven't tried a ton of products. I just don't really want to put out that money. But I have tried. You guys know I always talk about the brand Dermatology. It's the one medical grade skincare company that I've found that has decent prices, actually really affordable prices. All their skincare is in the $20-something range. All their products are fragrance free. They use efficacious ingredients. They only use the good stuff in their products. Also, everybody talks about Ulta MD. Their prices look pretty good. That's another one I haven't tried. Let me know down below if there's any, I hate to even say the word, but medical grade companies that you stand behind. I know people love them. I just feel like, I don't know, sometimes I think we're throwing our money away and they're just overpriced. Okay, next topic, pimple patches. Love it. I love pimple patches. I wanted to include this topic because I know a lot of derms don't get behind pimple patches because honestly there's not a lot of data behind them, but I do feel like they work. I know from personal experience. I don't know, it just seems like for me, my pimple seems to heal up so much more quickly if I don't use anything. Even with a pimple cream, they just seem to do the trick. And they use a hydrocolloid dressing, and it's interesting because we use this type of dressing in the hospital a lot because the theory is it can whisk away moisture from the skin, so it really helps wound healing. So really anything that helps a wound heal usually can do great reparative things for your skin. So I feel like, I don't know, I can stand behind the technology behind them. I know there's not a lot of data, but the technology just makes sense. And for me, from personal experience, I feel like they really work. Okay, the next topic might be the most controversial skincare topic over the last year, and that is fragrance. And I'm gonna say, leave it. Leave the fragrance out of skincare. I know for myself, when I shop for skincare, I usually shop for fragrance-free skincare. Here on my channel, you will see me review fragrance skincare here and there, but I will not, especially skincare products with essential oils, I just cannot get behind. Essential oils can be super volatile, they're unstable, so they tend to have a lot more reactions on the skin than even synthetic fragrances do. But regardless, none of it is needed in skincare. It always brings me back, I always bring it back to the hospital environment. A doctor would never prescribe anything fragranced in the hospital. Say we're giving a bed bath to a hospitalized patient, they're sick, they're in an ICU bed, they can't move. Wouldn't it be amazing to give them a spa-like experience and include, you know, eucalyptus and mint and citrus in their lotions and in their soaps? But we don't do it in the hospital because it's just not worth a patient reaction. So why do we risk it on our face? face. It's just so strange to me. I get it, it's for the sensorial experience, and I am not one to, I didn't want to add to any of the fear mongering out there. We'll talk about fear mongering when we get to clean beauty, but the likelihood of anybody getting a allergic reaction to a skincare product is very low, but again, why take the risk? And for me, when I've used products with fragrance in them, only certain ones really seem to bother me, but I've experienced redness, burning, like red patches. I can get irritation, and I want to have a product where I don't have to worry about irritating my skin. Now, I feel like I should add a little disclaimer here because I did include, was it in my best of skincare video of 2020? I think it was in that video where I talked about Good Genes, and somebody commented like, oh, doesn't this have lemongrass in it? You say you don't like fragrance, and there's products out there that I've used that I haven't had a reaction to, and with Good Genes, you just cannot deny those amazing glowing results from that product. I love that product, and like I said, I've never had a reaction from that, but I do not seek out products with fragrance in them. I just don't. I think it's so unnecessary. Trust me, if I could reach out to Sunday Riley and tell them to stop including lemongrass in Good Genes, I would love that. But yeah, no, I can't stand behind fragrance skincare. But I think I will continue to review probably synthetic fragrance products on my channel if it's something I'm into, if it's something you guys are into, because honestly, like I said, a lot of synthetic fragrances are more stable than essential oils. So that's my thing with fragrance. Okay, celebrity skincare. I went back and forth on this one, but when I really thought about the celebrity skincare lines I've tried, I'm gonna say leave it. So many of them just seem so overpriced. If we can get a celebrity to have a skincare line that has affordable prices, that are drugstore prices, but I've tried, the one by Julia Rancic, I think it was called like Fountain of Youth. That one was so overpriced, it irritated my skin. I just reviewed JLo's line, just her moisturizer. That line I was pretty impressed by. Her ingredients are pretty good. She got blasted for this olive oil scandal. I'll link my video down below on that one so you guys can check out my thoughts behind that. This moisturizer is basically a squalene based moisturizer, which squalene is made from olives. I think she talks about this whole olive complex, but that moisturizer is pretty good. It's just the rest of the products are so expensive. The serum's over $100, and I just wish they could get their prices down. And yeah, there hasn't been a celebrity skincare line that I've been that excited for. I was initially excited for JLo's line, but then I saw a lot of the prices, and but again, the ingredients weren't that bad. I know a lot of people talked about Kylie's Skin. A lot of her products seem to have gotten good reviews, her SPF, but then again, she got flack for that physical exfoliant scrub. So I just feel like a celebrity can't do anything right if they release a line. You would think they would have the best resources out there, the best dermatologists. So I don't know, maybe one day we'll see an amazing celebrity skincare line. Jewelry's still out, but as of right now, I'm gonna say ditch the celebrity skincare line. Okay, next one, K-Beauty. And I'm gonna say love it. Love K-Beauty. There's nothing like K-Beauty formulas, nothing like K-Beauty SPFs. If you haven't tried K-Beauty, definitely give it a go. There's so many of my friends that have yet to try it. They always ask me for these products. I'm like, you have to try out Korean skincare. And they kind of look at me like I have four heads. Like, really? I've never even heard anybody talk about that. I think it's people that aren't really in the YouTube space. They're not really aware of the magic of K-Beauty that's out there. But it's so great. I cannot say enough good things about K-Beauty. Clean Beauty. Okay. I'm going to say leave it. Now, that's not to say I have not used clean beauty brands. There's not clean beauty brands that I love, but the marketing and fear-mongering behind clean beauty, I cannot get behind. So you guys know I always talk about the brand Verse. I love their products, so affordable. They really use great ingredients. There's good ones out there, but I just cannot stand when you see toxin-free blasted in your face. It just drives me nuts. I think I just did a Google search recently. I think I was like researching a moisturizer or something, and the top subject that came up, the top article, it said, check out these top 12 toxic ingredients that are in your everyday moisturizer. I'm like, oh my gosh, of course the everyday person is gonna read that and be scared to death of like every moisturizer they have in their arsenal, and then want to throw everything out because they see parabens and silicones and mineral oils. Like, I don't know, it's just not a thing. I don't even know where this came from. I don't know if it started with the whole organic thing or what, but I just feel like it's fear-mongering and it's leading to so much misinformation out there. If you're concerned about a certain ingredient, use a science-backed website to look up these ingredients and do research for yourself. A great one that I always talk about is inkydecoder.com. They actually cite articles. You can look at the research studies behind these ingredients. I just think that is so helpful rather than doing a Google search, because obviously, I mean, look what comes up. It's so dangerous. And the thing that stands out for me, probably the #1 topical product that we use in the hospital is petroleum. And petroleum is probably the top occlusive agent out there to keep in water in your skin. It's amazing. So many of our dermatologists in hospital, these are world-renowned dermatologists, recommend petroleum. There's a certain skin condition in babies. Their skin, it's horrible. Their skin is basically just regenerating all the time. It's constantly sloughing off basically. And the only medication for it is petroleum. Like, we just rub Vaseline over these babies to maintain a somewhat normal skin barrier for them. So it's not a scary ingredient there. I think it comes from the fact that it's made from crude oil, maybe. That could be why that people are so up in arms about it. But yeah, petroleum's not toxic. I mean, any ingredient can be toxic at a certain level. We know water can be toxic at a certain level, but it's just not fair to advertise that our beauty products are toxin free. I mean, the FDA would not let these ingredients pass if they caused harm to the body. So I cannot tell you how much that marketing aggravates me. But like I said, there's products that I love from these clean beauty brands. When I promote a clean beauty brand, I never even mention that it's clean, because basically there's no meaning behind that. But I totally get if you use and love these products. I understand people have personal reasons for, you know, leaving out certain ingredients. I understand, but definitely do your own research. Look at science, look at the research behind these ingredients. Okay, next up, sorry, I gotta take a breath there. All right, let's see what's next on my list. 12-step skincare routine. This is another one I went back and forth on. I'm gonna say leave it. It might not be something that I personally aspire to. My skincare routine is probably about like 4 steps. I probably use a little bit more than I need, but I'm a product junkie. What can I say? I have a lot of products in my arsenal that I like to switch up, and depending on how my skin is behaving, I do like to mix up products here and there. But really, introducing all of these different products is potential for skin irritation. All you really need is a basic cleanser, a basic moisturizer, a good SPF, and that's really it. I mean, you can throw in a serum with a potent active ingredient that you really believe in, but you really don't need all these extra steps. But here I am with my whole skincare closet in the next room with my essences and toners and everything in between. But yeah, I'm gonna say leave the 12-step skincare, save your money, just get a good cleanser, a good moisturizer, and an SPF. It's all you really need. Most important thing is the SPF though. I will stress that. Okay, next up, AM cleansing. Do you guys wash your face in the morning? I don't. I'm gonna say leave the AM cleansing behind. Now, I myself have really dry skin, so it tends to dry me even more out if I wash my face twice a day. I only really do a good cleanse at night, so I'm gonna say leave the AM cleanse behind. I usually just do a good cold splash of water, put on my vitamin C, my SPF, whatever have you for the day, and call it a day. Okay, next love it or leave it, micellar water. I'm gonna say love it. Now, the thing with micellar water, there can be some that have harsh surfactants, and you really don't want to leave them on your face because they can be irritating. But I love a micellar water to get off any extra makeup I have around my eyes. But I think the important thing is just wash it off. Use your regular cleanser after using a micellar water. I like a micellar water. I especially feel like they do wonders for swatches, like if I'm swatching products on my arm. Not that the everyday person is swatching 20 lipsticks on their arm, but they really do get off makeup really well, and I do like a micellar water. So just try not to leave it on your face because they can be irritating, but I'm gonna say love the micellar water. Physical exfoliation. This was a tough one for me, but I'm gonna say leave it. When I first got into skincare, which was probably in middle school / high school, I have to admit, St. Ives user over here. It's just something about the instant gratification. You get that instantly smooth skin, but over time I did notice that my skin was getting even extra dry. I would get extra irritation anytime I used a physical exfoliant. I will say they are getting better. There's a lot of them that have these biodegradable beads in them, and you know, they're really gentle on the face. A lot of them have these jojoba oils in them, like these little jojoba oil balls that almost immediately disintegrate on the face. There's one product by Sunday Riley, it's called the Blue Moon Cleansing Balm. It has these granules in it, but it's so satisfying. So there are ones that I've used and love, but I kind of like know inside that I should not be using these. But yeah, these harsh physical exfoliants, I think we should be leaving them behind. And then moisturizer over SPF. This is a question I get a lot, and actually it came up recently on my Supergoop review. Because of that being an SPF serum, a lot of people were confused, like, does this mean I still put a moisturizer over top of it? So I wanted to include this topic to see everybody else's views, but I would say leave it. I would not put my moisturizer over my SPF. You always want to do your SPF as your last step. And I learned this firsthand from my dermatologist. We were talking about, you know, my SPF routine, and I was telling her how I get dry throughout the day sometimes, and she was like, okay, whatever you do, do not apply moisturizer throughout the day because it's going to dilute your SPF. So try to use your SPF as your last step in your skincare routine. Okay, next up, eye creams. What do you guys think about eye creams? I'm gonna say love them. I know they're not necessary. I know that I can use my moisturizer underneath my eyes, but there's something about an eye cream for me. A lot of them they just have that balmy consistency. They're a little bit thicker, more occlusive. Now, not all of them, which is why I can never get behind a really light eye cream, like those gel eye creams. I just feel like they don't do the trick, and if they're gonna be light like that, I'm like, I can throw my moisturizer underneath my eyes. There's something about the ritual of an eye cream. I think they really force you to focus that extra product around your eyes, you know what I mean? Like, normally I would just throw my moisturizer on, not even thinking twice, but if I reach for my eye cream, I'm really concentrating that eye cream, you know, in my inner corners, my outer corners, on my lids. It just makes me pay attention to my eye area. Maybe that's just something subconsciously with myself, but I love an eye cream. I love the ones that have the correctors in them too for the AM. Yeah, this skincare junkie loves her eye cream. And then peel off masks. No peel off masks for me anymore. And this is another product I used a lot in high school. There was one by that brand Freeman. It was like this clear mask. I think it was like a cucumber one. And I can see myself like in my mirror with my caboodle right in front of me, pulling this mask off. My skin is like lifting up with the mask. These things do no good things for your skin. First of all, they're pulling off that initial protective layer that you have on the top of your skin. You're damaging your skin's barrier. They don't do anything good for your skin. I get the instant gratification behind them. And I will say, I hate to admit this, but my husband does use those pore masks on his nose because he gets bad blackheads on his nose. Trust me, I try and drill it into his head that they're bad for his skin. Every night I have my Cosrx blackhead toner, like right on his side of the sink. But I think for him too, it's the instant gratification because you can pull that strip off and see those blackheads on there. But yeah, they're not good for your skin. They damage your skin, it can cause potential irritation, just no good. Facial mist. Love them. I love a facial mist. This is another product that a lot of dermatologists don't get behind because they can increase transepidermal water loss. Because think about it, if you're spraying water on your face all day, it's going to encourage even more water to be pulled out of your skin and to evaporate with that mist. So it can dry out your skin, but I would say just use them sparingly. The one that I always recommend is the one by Youth to the People. I love that one. It's like a burst of moisture. It's the perfect mist. I never feel dried out from that, and it's not tacky at all. It feels so good on my skin, but I really only use it like on the days that I'm working or if I'm feeling extra dry. They're just so satisfying to me. So yes, I love a facial mist. Hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna say love it. I was kind of 50-50 on this. Only because I do feel like hyaluronic acid can do great things. So hyaluronic acid is a natural component of our skin that keeps the plumpness in our skin, the smoothness of our skin. It degrades over time as we age. So I do feel like it's important to replace it. However, there's so many hyaluronic acid formulas that don't work for me, especially the one by The Ordinary. Like when I wake up in the morning from that serum, I feel like my skin looks great, but I still have all the peeling, like it flakes up. A lot of the formulas will flake and pill. So that's my only issue with the hyaluronic acid serums, but some of them have great formulas. And every time I see hyaluronic acid in a moisturizer, I get excited. I have heard that you have to be careful with the low molecular weight ones, but it's hard to discern which ones are the low molecular weight. They are known to cause inflammation. Not a ton of studies to back that, but just keep that in mind. But I don't know, I do like a hyaluronic acid from time to time. I have to know my environment is okay because we know it's a humectant, right? So it's going to pull in water from the air. So if the air around you is super dry, it can potentially dry your skin even further. So I tend to use them less in the winter time. I do feel like they can do really good things for your skin. Okay, we have 2 more left. Next one is natural products. So when I think of natural products, I think of like these at-home masks, and anything that comes from the earth, basically. I do not want something that's completely plant-based on my face. I think we get behind the notion that, okay, it's from the earth, it's natural, it's gonna do magic things for my skin, it's not gonna irritate my skin. We do not have the same makeup as a plant does. That's why we're humans, and that's why plants are plants. So the chemistry between our skin cells and plants, it's not always gonna work in sync. So they do have the potential to cause irritation. I just cannot get behind these natural products. There's something to be said about synthetic products. I mean, I'm a nurse. I guess it's because I have so much faith in medicine, and medicine has done amazing things. I can understand why people would think natural is better, but there's just something to be said about a chemist working behind the scenes on that perfect formulation to work in conjunction with our skin chemistry. So yeah, I can't get behind all these natural products. All right, last but not least, we'll talk about chemical sunscreens. A lot of people don't use chemical sunscreens. I get it for personal reasons, but I love a chemical sunscreen. I think their formulas are amazing. They work, I think, the best underneath foundation. I have found some mineral sunscreens that work really well, like the Josie Maran Tinted SPF I really love. That's a mineral sunscreen, but I don't know, there's so many great chemical sunscreens out there. Now, you always have to use the disclaimer that if you have sensitive skin, a chemical sunscreen might not work for you. So sometimes I'm always hesitant to recommend these chemical sunscreens, but for me, I usually don't get any irritation. Sometimes you can get some burning, and I know a lot of people don't use chemical sunscreens, like I said, for personal reasons, but I can get behind a chemical sunscreens. I just think there's something about that lightweight formula, that silky texture of them. They're just so great. The United States, however, the FDA has to approve these Korean sunscreen filters. They're just so amazing. It's taking forever. So that's only gonna make our sunscreens even better, which is why K-Beauty sunscreens are some of my favorites. Not Purito anymore, unfortunately. I cannot believe that whole scandal. But for the most part, these chemical sunscreens work just as well as our mineral sunscreens. In an ideal world, it would be nice to get our mineral sunscreen formulas up to par with a lot of these chemical sunscreens. Like I said, there's some great ones out there, but I just feel like we're not quite there yet. A lot of chemical sunscreens get this backlash per se, because I don't know if you guys heard these studies where chemical sunscreen has actually been found in these bloodstreams of individuals that were tested. And I think that scared the crap out of people, but just to put it out there, there was nothing came out of that. They didn't have any adverse side effects. So chemical sunscreens are not toxic at these levels that are put in these SPFs, but I think that's where kind of the fear of them comes from. And then, like I said, a lot of people don't use them for personal reasons, but I just love the chemical sunscreen formula, but there are some great mineral sunscreen formulas out there as well. But all right, that concludes all these love it or leave it topics. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a fun one. I hope this tag spreads. I just want to hear everybody's answers, all my favorite creators. I'll tag some of them on Instagram as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any topics you feel that would be interesting down below. Maybe, you know, if other creators do this tag, they can include those topics. Let me know if you agreed with me, if you disagreed with me on certain things. I'd love to hear from you guys. But just thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.